website.
Yeah.
So
They know. They've seen how it's spelled.
yeah, you know, you've seen the logo, which is now the new logo. Got me and Steve just about to kiss. Although it looks on that logo like I'm pulling Steve towards me by his little tassels. In actual fact, he made me do that.
Yeah.
By grabbing my elbows undershot and pulling my hands into him, and then afterwards he proper kissed me. It was a long and tender kiss that lasted too long.
Yeah.
And then I can tell you, I've seen him sleep rage after that. No, it's good. Thank you, Steve, for that.
Beard not get interlocked.
It is a bit like Velcro, yeah.
I didn't have the beard at that point.
Oh.
I foolishly shaved it off.
It's like one of those pubes.
Hey!
It's like Velcro down there. When we separated it, but more sticky.
Thanks for that. Cheers. That's just the image I needed right now.
But yeah, you need that, baby. I've got some photos actually. Check out www. No.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah.
Howard tells the world they're sleeping.
You're not put upon. Fuck off. You love it.
It's all good. I'll live.
Do you want to do your story, or shall I do my story?
I don't mind. I mean, I'm quite happy just sitting here listening, just trying to figure out what my story is.
So, if you want to be in the audience next week, buy a ticket, fuckers.
Yeah, because there's going to be more. You're going to wait till the end and go, no, I won't do my bit now. You carry on. I'm still thinking.
You made me laugh for a bit. I'm going home now.
So, yeah, how good is your story?
It's top shit. No, not really.
Dude, impugning our...
Yeah, don't ask us that. But I think it's probably quite long because I printed it out because I typed mine up and I always have a different colour at the top of the page. That's the only joy in my life, printing off coloured text. I think mine might take a while. I could drag mine out. I don't know what.
Give me yours.
I'll do mine.
I'm going to sit and try and figure out.
Tell you what though, yours better be effing brilliant if we're going to end on it.
If we're headlining with you.
Oh no.
Because I'm sure some people only listen to this like half an hour in. I don't know. They switch off after the first racist jibe or something.
So this week they got 4 minutes in.
They got 4 minutes in, but turn that off.
It's a record.
Don't mention the Jews. Oh, by the way, just put Hitler into YouTube. You get the funniest things. There's a scene from Downfall. And obviously no one speaks German, apart from the Germans and some lazy people from Luxembourg or something. But they've sort of changed the subtitles on it, like Hitler receiving an iPhone. Just do that. Don't listen to others anymore. Go to YouTube and just type Hitler in. And then in fact, just do that into Google and just wait for the people to knock on your door. Hitler porn. It's a new genre. I'm going to talk about comedy. I think I've mentioned a few times a disastrous gig I had in Hull.
Yeah, that was a very cool story, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, that was Pocklington.
Of course it was.
But I mentioned the other one was, yes, it's somewhere out east. But I mentioned it, but I never really got down to it. I've sort of said that, and I was sort of chased out of Hull, and it was a terrible, terrible gig. But it was sort of disastrous in a different way to the Pocklington one. The Pocklington one was me trying, whereas this was sort of me trying too hard in a different direction of trying. Quite like Hitler really tried. Well, Hitler. But I mean, got me thinking about this story and talking about this gig. What is Hull? I put it to you now, because we're all from the same sort of area. Because you're from Doncaster as well, aren't you? You're from Selby. We're all from that similar area. So Hull to us is something that's technically local. But what is it? Because I've been thinking, if you're in York train station, York's unique. You can go to anywhere in the country without changing train pretty much from York. You're in Edinburgh in 2.5, you're in London in 2. You can go to Bristol without changing, I realise. Yeah. But I've never seen a train for Hull.
Really?
Yeah.
They do exist.
They do exist.
Don't ruin it!
Sorry, is that integral to your story?
No, there's more buses actually.
But again, yeah, it's like, but I've just always thought it's like an odd thing. When you think about Hull, it's got a weird reputation. It doesn't have a great reputation.
It really doesn't.
But can you think of anything important or thing? When I think of Hull, I think of the Humber Bridge, which isn't in Hull. Yeah. I think of the Deep, which I mentioned later, and I think of John Prescott. That's it.
I suppose, yeah,
what else is Hull?
Ferries.
Yeah, that's all I
Ferries, to go elsewhere, Zeebrugge and places. So, okay, well, I'm from Doncaster.
Saying that now, I used to go swimming to Hull quite a lot.
Really?
Because it had a place with a wave machine. And a slide. And in Selby, that's
magical, yeah.
Yeah.
They show that, oh, the bloody hell you do that?
Up till I was about 13, we used to go quite a lot.
Let's go to Hull to see the waves.
We used to go, we used to
no, that's called the River Humber.
I wonder why it was very clear.
Chuck you off the bridge.
Yeah, that was it. No, we used to go swimming in there all the time. a wave machine, and that was the only thing I remember about
I
it.
suppose. Oh, but then you're from, I'm from Doncaster. We had like the that's like where you're from, pretty much around the corner, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, so I say it's only 45-minute drive. But I've never went there as a child. The only time I've been to Hull, apart from this gig, was to visit the Deep. That was it. I once went. I was about 26 as well. For as I can see, there is no reason for Hull to exist.
I figured out the other day I've been 3 times.
And how old are you?
25.
You're 25 years of age. You live in that area.
Well,
Get rid of it. That's what I'm saying. Let's get rid of Hull. If you're from Hull, you might miss it, but to be honest, you won't be listening to this because you can't afford a computer. So get rid of it. Whoa! That's not racist. They're all white.
Oh, dear.
And they're all white for a reason because they are racist too. Sorry. But so that's my thought on Hull to begin with. That's sort of sets the scene. I also now I've got a prop as well. I'll put images of this on the website. But this is a little booklet. I'll hand it to you guys. On the front of it, it says, "Can I have a gig, please?"
Nice.
And it's basically what I used in about 2004, 2005 to try and get gigs when I was first starting out. I didn't have a website.
is that you?
With really short hair and a sort of beard. I look a bit like, talking of Nazis, I look a bit like Edward Norton in American History X. Big swastika on my...
Yeah, you do a little bit, yeah.
Well, that's what I used to get a gig. It's a tiny little booklet. I posted it out to all promoters, all clubs in the country to try and get gigs. I mean, let me just read a little section of it. This went to all professional people, and this is one of the things I put in it to try and convince people to get me some gigs.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll shoot things, but only in self-defence, or if they're really asking for it, like a whore. If I was a girl, my name would be Heather, and my long blonde hair would always be falling in my face. "Don't hide that pretty face," my nan would say. "Oh, nan," I'd reply, all coy. That went to like channel 4. So I'll put some. I found that on an old flash drive today. I'll put some images from it on the website or something.
Wow.
But I mean, in the end, I probably sent about 300 or 400 of that.
Yeah.
I got two gigs from it. One which was quite good. I think it was in Huddersfield. It was quite a good gig. The other one I got was for a gig in Hull. Now, if you look on the back, it says, if you like basically what you've seen, please either give me a call, send me an email, or contact me via telepathy. And there's a picture of me, and doing a sort of Darren Brown kind of thing. Yeah, I forgot I'd put that. So a month later, I got a phone call from a man who said, "Did you get my telepathic message?" And I said, "What? Who's this? Who the fuck's this? Did you get my telepathic message?" He went, "Stop calling me, you idiot. Who's this?" Turned out it was a promoter. He was making a joke. Heaven forbid that a comedy promoter would make a joke. It was a chap, you might have heard of him, although you probably hasn't. It's a man called Agraman. That's his professional name, Agraman, the human anagram. And he's quite, if you're sort of really into the history of stand-up, he's really quite a famous guy because he started a comedy club, I can't remember it because I don't give a shit, in Manchester in the 80s. He gave people like Steve Coogan, like Armando Iannucci, their kind of first gigs. He was like their first leg up. And I thought, oh wow, this is great. This is the guy that sort of made these people famous. So obviously started badly with me telling him to fuck off to begin with, but it was a nice guy. He said, "I've got a gig for you. It's a new club I'm starting up. It's in a room above a pub in Hull. I see you from York. Will you be able to come down next week and do me a spot?" But brilliant. He said the name of the pub was something like, it was either the Punch Bag or the Boxing Ring or the Boxing Glove. He explained it was a boxing themed pub, which I thought was a bit odd considering like Hull's so rough. The last thing you want is to encourage people to punch each other. But fair enough, I thought, this is obviously a good guy, I'll do well from this, I'll go. So I went to the gig. It was actually just outside Hull, this pub. It's a couple of miles outside, in the middle of a council estate. And the kind of council estate that looks like, remember a couple of years ago when Israel was bombing Syria? And I got this, like Syria was all bombed and there were dead kids everywhere. That's what this pub looked like, basically.
A little bit shameless.
A little bit shameless, but like really worse, because there's no good scriptwriters in. But one of those pubs, it's got a car park all the way around it. You know when pubs, like weird buildings, just spring up out of concrete, floating, like an island in concrete. Like a kind of place where it would just be great for fights. You spilt my pint, let's go outside and knock the shit out of each other. It was that kind of pub, it was sort of 1970s, horrible bomb shelter, the kind of building where all the windows are really small slits high up the wall that you'd never be able to climb out if there was a fire. The kind of pub